morning, everyone. We're going to get started just like usual. So that means our head tucks, our chin tucks, and our head turns, okay? So really thinking of stacking those vertebrae one on top of another, lengthening through the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down, okay? And then from there, we're going to tuck the chin back without moving the chest here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's reset, maintaining that length through the spine. We're going to do our head turns now, 5 each direction. Ready? Here we go. We're going to turn, come back to center, other direction, back to center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, all right, now that we have those out of the way, we're gonna go through, we've got 4 blocks today. We've got a 5-minute warm-up. We're just gonna roll through 5 exercises one time each, okay? Then we're gonna do a 15-minute block of 5 exercises, okay? Then we're gonna do a 12-minute block of 4 exercises, and then we're gonna do a 9-minute block of the first 5 and 4-minute or 4 exercise blocks all together. So we're gonna get 4 sets total of our exercises today, okay? All right, so we're gonna start with our warm-up though, and we're not doing anything new here. We're just doing our 4-count cherry picker. So our feet are wider than our shoulder width, right? Reaching out, middle, in, and at the top, if you can, give a little arm circle to get those shoulders moving, okay? Wherever your range of motion is, okay? This can be done seated too. Let's get ready. In 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. So reaching outwards, middle, in, and then an arm circle through your own range of motion. So here's what it looks like seated. All right. And we had a request for some knee strengthening exercises today. So I do have 2 weeks ago, we had some requests for some lower back strengthening. So they are still, I still have lower back exercises in here. And I've also have some knee exercises in here, which a lot of, like, you know, we do a lot of this stuff as well, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know, inform us about it as we go through it and tell you the whys, okay? 5 more seconds here. Then we're going to go to knee circles, 2 and 1. Okay, so next we're going to do knee circles. So I'm standing close together here, right? And I'm just kind of hula hooping my knees. All right, so that's what it looks like. We're just hula hooping, so you should feel your ankles moving here a little bit. It's kind of funny, right? It's a little funny, but we're going to do it one direction and then the other. I'll tell you when to switch directions. And 3, 2, 1. All right. So this helps get the synovial fluid moving in our knees. Okay. You can feel your calves warming up here too. All right. So this is, I love this right here. We can switch the direction one more time. We'll do a little bit each way one more time. And then switch one final time right here. I always do this exercise before I do squats where I'm putting weight on, you know, a lot of weight up top. 2 and 1, okay? Now what we're gonna do is a half squat to a calf raise, okay? So if you need to, you can hold on to the back of your chair or you can just be body weight. Half squat, calf raise. Half squat, calf raise, okay? So I could go further down, but right now I'm just going half and down, okay? So we're still warming up the knees, and now we're warming up the ankles and the calves too, which support the knees, okay? So a lot of strengthening the knee comes from also strengthening through the ankle joint and the muscles surrounding that, and strengthening through the hip joint and the muscles that surround through that, okay? Sorry, I'm too busy chatting. You're seated, you're right here, okay? Lift, flex, flex, lift. Okay, that's our seated option. Keep it going. Half squat to calf raise. We're gonna do one more exercise here. I thought it was 5, but it's just 4. So a 4-minute warm up. And that's gonna be a double side step to a lateral bend. All right, and rest. So what that's gonna look like is our step together, step, and then we're gonna reach. Step together, step, reach, step together, step, reach. Okay, so we get this nice stretch through the side body. And any time you're moving lateral, whether you're on the floor, anytime your legs are going side to side, you're helping to strengthen your knee, okay? I want you to remember that. So you could be here, okay? Helping to strengthen the knee by getting those supporting muscle groups stronger, okay? So we're doing side, side, stretch, side, side, stretch, okay? 10 more seconds. Stretch, 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 and time. Okay. All right, so 4-minute warm up. I thought it was 5. I thought I couldn't understand my own handwriting. So now we're going to get into our first 15-minute block here. This is our longest block. It's going to be 5 exercises, okay? And we're going to start with a squat to 45-degree press. So I want you to think your squat is an excellent exercise for the quads and the legs and the supporting area of the knee. So if you have to half squat, okay, half squat is going to be more gentle on your knee if you're experiencing discomfort, okay, half squat it. And 45 press, okay, remember these, we're doing these right here. So you can grab a weight, we're gonna squat and press. Okay, so half squat if you have tender knees, okay? Full squat if you're okay. All right, full squat if it doesn't bother your knees, okay? You can always do the chair squat too, if it just feels, like a better flow for you, okay? And here's the other thing. If your knees are really bad, but you're trying to strengthen them, you want to be doing knees a lot, okay? As long as your body can handle it. Maybe you can't go through a full range of motion, all right? But you want to strengthen this way, press, okay? So that's our first exercise, squat to press, 45-degree press. Hinge and row is our second, okay? Another really good lower back exercise, okay? And again, you're strengthening the back of your leg, which is the supporting muscle of the knee, okay? So low back here, as well as lats. After that, we are going to do side leg raises, okay? So I'm gonna hold on to the back of my chair, and I'm just gonna like kind of hang out on it a little bit, you know what I mean? Like put a little weight on it, okay? So my supporting standing leg is soft, and we're gonna do our leg raises, okay? Side leg raises here, all right? Leg raise, okay? So we're really working, you should be feeling this whole area right through here, okay? That's our glute medius, all right? And that really helps support our knee joint. If you would prefer to lay down on the floor and do this from a laying position, you can do that too, okay? But sometimes it's not convenient for us to get up and get down off the floor. Your seated variation is our abduction, okay? All one side and then the other. Final exercise in this block is our bicep curl and march, okay? We're gonna get that core work in there, okay? All right, so enough talking. We're going to our first block. This is our longest. We're gonna start with our squat to a 45-degree press. You see, I'm not here, I'm somewhere in between, okay? All right, squat to 45-degree press or an alternating seated leg extension. Ready? And begin. So I'm just gonna demo seated for a few repetitions here. Boom, okay? So this is your seated variation. You can do a chair squat variation. Tap it down. You can do a full squat variation. And if your knees are somewhere between bad and okay, you might do a half squat. Okay, half squat. All right, my knees are okay, so I'm gonna do a full squat. And a press. Hinge and row is next, okay? 2 compound movements back to back here. 2, and time, okay? Let's grab our weights for our hinge and row. Seated or standing, our feet are gonna be underneath our hips. Toes are forward, so we've got that more narrow stance now. Ready? Here we go. We're gonna hinge, row, back. Remember, I'm always looking for that neutral spine. You wanna check in with yourself. Is my core engaged? Are my glutes and hamstrings doing the work to pull me up? Is my back neutral? Okay, because I'm gonna show you, here's a proper rep, right? Proper, see that end range right there, what my back looks like coming up? This is improper, this is incorrect. Okay, you see the difference there? This is not what we want. This is gonna put a lot of stress on your back. Okay, so what we want is push the hips back, grow it, squeeze up. Good, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're gonna go into those side leg raises. Okay, dial in. Remember, if you wanna do this on the floor, if you're advanced and you don't have issues of getting up and down, please, just wanna go on the floor, okay? Otherwise, here we go. Or you can do your seated abduction. Otherwise, I'm kind of putting my weight of my palms into the chair a little bit. And I'm trying to make that mind muscle connection where I really want to feel activation is right here. Okay, right here. So don't worry so much about seeing how high it'll go up, right? Worry about leading with the heel of the foot through its own range of motion and trying to squeeze the glute in that area. You'll probably feel that standing leg doing work too, because it's just isometrically holding you up. Few more seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. We're gonna go to the other side, okay? Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Come this way now. Okay, so you might notice it feels a little different on one side than the other, okay? Remember, you're leading with the heel of your foot. You're really trying to focus on this area, okay? So try to keep from your hips up. You know, try not to like bend into, see this? You don't wanna like bend your upper body into it because then you're missing the muscle, right? So you just kind of try to keep yourself upright through the torso up as you wing that leg out to the side, leading with the heel of your foot. Ask your body, do you feel it through these glutes here? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, okay. Last exercise in this block is our bicep curl and march, okay? Let's get ready and begin. Seated or standing here. I can feel how I work those glute needs when I'm coming up into this hip flexion here, right? As I pull my knee upwards. We're going back to our squat to press next, our 45-degree press. Two, and time. Good, okay. Back to the top, okay? So again, you can either do a chair squat, a sit squat, or just a regular body weight squat. Here we go. Half squat it if you need to. Remember, if your knees are sensitive, maybe only go down half as far. Press. Press. Really drive your heels down into the floor as your upper body is, as you're lifting up. Get the glutes involved. Drive the heels down and squeeze the glutes as you lift. Stay present. We have hinge and row next. 5, 3, 2, and time. Okay, recover. Hinge and row is next. So now we're bringing our stance in, right under our hips. We were here before. Now we're here, right? And instead of doing this, we're doing this, right? Okay, here we go. Hinge and row. All right, we take the focus off the quadriceps. The squat focuses on the quadriceps and the glutes. The hinge that we're doing right now focuses on the hamstrings and the glutes, okay? Subtle differences. Keep the core engaged. You're pushing the hips back so that your spine stays nice and neutral. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're back to those leg raises again, okay? So remember, if you need to do some seated, you can do these laying down on the floor. You can do them seated right here, okay? Or, here we go. You can just hang onto the back of the chair. You gotta dial in, okay? It's not a side kick. You're not worried about how high you can kick it up. You're worried about leading through the heel of that foot and keeping that torso somewhat upright so that you can start to really connect. Okay, I'm feeling that burn. I'm feeling that burn right through the side of my glute. Again, you might feel that standing leg working too because it's holding me up there the whole time. You can put a little bit of weight in through your palms onto the chair. Okay, you can rest on it a little bit as you're trying to do this. 3, 2, and 1. Woo, shake it out. Okay, I feel those last reps. I hope you guys do too. Okay, it takes a little bit of time to build up and feel that sensation. 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Okay, so remember, it's not about how high you can get that foot up in the air, right? It's about making sure you're dialing into that side glute, lifting up through the heel of your foot. Good, keep it going. We're gonna go to our bicep curl and march next. Last 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's grab our weights for our bicep curl and march. This can be done seated or standing, okay? So we're just coming out with the leg here, working glute med. Now we're working hip flexor and core here. Let's go, right? And even this balance pose right here, I want you to think about how balancing on one leg can help strengthen your knee and your ankle joints, right? You can almost feel a little bit of like wiggle and sensation through your joint, you know, like as you try to find that balance, okay? And that's strengthening all these supporting muscle groups, these smaller supporting muscle groups to the larger ones. 10 more seconds here, keep it going, don't mind me. 2, and 1, okay. Back to the top, we're cruising along through this one, okay? So our final, not our final set, for this block, our final set of squat to press, but we will be coming back to this one, all right? Heels are shoulder width apart, slight flare out in the toes. Here we go. Press, okay? Remember, you're doing an alternating seated leg extension if you're staying in your chair. As I lower down, I drive my heels into the floor, squeezing my glutes up. Think about the movement, the mechanics of it, okay? And I want you to think about the differences when we get to our hinge and row next, okay? Think of the differences and the similarities, all right? Knowledge is power, and understanding why you're doing the movement, it can really help, is really beneficial. And time, okay? Now we're switching to our hinge and row. We were at squat and press. Now we're at hinge and row, okay? So our feet come together, right? They're underneath our hips now. Toes are facing forward. We're gonna push the hips back, right? Our chest comes towards the ground. We're gonna row it and then squeeze the glutes to stand it up. Keeping my belly button pulled back towards my spine. So in both these exercises, some similarities is we're using the glutes in both, right? They're also both lower body exercises, the squat and the hinge. Some differences is our foot stance, right? Another difference is our chest comes towards the floor with our hinge, where we end time, where we try to keep our chest more upright with the squat. Back to our side leg raises, okay? Ready? And begin. So what am I leading with? The heel, right? The heel of my foot. You can see I'm trying to stay somewhat upright through my, from my hips up to my head. So that's going to limit the range of motion that my leg wants to come up, right? Because I'm trying to dial in. And maybe, you know, sometimes everybody's body's a little different. Maybe you feel it a little more. I'm coming right out to the side here. Maybe if you come out to the side and back a little more, maybe you like that better, okay? So just play around a little bit with the positioning, the angle. 3, 2, whew, and 1. Okay, shake it out. We're gonna do the other side. All right, so definitely focusing today with some single joint exercises here. Here we go, other side. Again, this is something that can be done laying down if you prefer it. It's not always ideal for us to be getting up and down off the floor though. We're going to bicep curl and march after this. Whew. Keep the foot flexed, lead through the heel. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bicep curl and march, okay? This one's good for both the core, the lower back, and the knees right here, okay? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. We're going to our 12-minute block next, okay? Gonna be a little more cardio focused. Slow is the name of the game here, right? Feel that control over the body here. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Okay. All right, that was 3 rounds of our 15-minute block. Okay, now we're gonna go into our 12-minute block. And what that's gonna look like is a little more conditioning, okay? So a little more cardio, a little more for the heart, but the movement patterns are still gonna be beneficial for our our knees and our back, okay? So we have, our first one is, there it is, our ham curls with palms up, okay? Ham curl, palm up, all right, right here, boom. You can hold a light pair of weights here if you want, 1 pound, 2 pound weights, or a pair of water bottles, okay? All right, but those palms are up, seated, boom, 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 boom. Okay, you should feel those biceps working as you pull back. We're working our back too. All right, second one, squat, squat, calf raise, squat, squat, calf raise, okay? All right, so getting those calves involved because that's gonna help with our knee strengthening exercises, okay? Go at your own pace, and if you're seated and you wanna do leg extension, calf raise, okay? All right, after that, rope pull. All right, core tight, glutes engaged, pull down like you mean it, right? Or pull, if it hurts to come up and down, and you just wanna pull, like think a tug of war, if you just need to pull this way instead of coming down like that, you can do that as well, okay? And then our last one is our grapevine. Tap, tap. If grapevine is confusing and you just want to step together, step, tap, step together, step, tap, you can do that as well, okay? All right, 12 minutes, heart rate's going up. Just use the timer as your guide. Take your drinks when you need to. You guys know. First one is our ham curl with palms up. You can add a pair of light weights if you want, okay? Ready and begin, okay? So seated or standing. Remember, if you're seated for this one, you're kind of sitting closer towards the edge of your chair so you can toe tap back a little. By the time we're done this 45 seconds, you should feel your biceps working. Try to keep those feet flexed if you're standing, right? Think of your heel coming in towards your glute. And if you want to have fun with it and just add some movement up and back, you can. Okay, think of it as old step aerobic classes in the church basements and whatnot. That's what I think of when I do this kind of stuff here, which I love. 2 and 1, good, okay? Next one is our 2 squats with a calf raise, or an alternating leg extension with a calf raise. You can use the back of your chair for this one, guys, okay, if you need it, all right? Here we go. So squat, squat, lift. You may not need your chair. And find your own rhythm, okay? You can hold on to a weight if you feel advanced and you want to hold a weight. Squat, squat, calf raise. Three, 2, and 1. Good. Rope pull is next, okay? So keep those glutes. If you're seated, you don't have to worry about it, but if you're standing, tuck the pelvis under, right? And keep this core scooped. Ready? And begin. That's going to give you that nice, stable base of support. If everything's solid right here, if you're like tightening everything here, that's going to give you more power to pull down, okay? If you disengage all this, you won't have as much power or velocity to pull down like you mean it, okay? Remember, you can also pull straight back if it hurts to pull down like this, right? You can do this or this. You figure out what works for you. 5 more seconds here. 2 and 1. Okay. The final one in round 1 is our grapevine, or you can do 2 step togethers, okay? Whew. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. So it's step, back, step, and tap. Step, back, step, and tap. Step, back, step, tap. All right? Go at your own pace. You know, put some pizzazz and style into it if you want. I'm not the world's greatest dancer or anything like that. I don't have a lot of rhythm. I just am able to count it out. Make this yours though. Okay. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Back to the top. Ham curl with a pull back, okay? Deep breath, round 2, in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Keep that foot flexed if you're standing. So you try to drive that heel up towards your glute. Strengthening the hamstrings, strengthening the biceps. Ham curls are a good knee strengthening exercise as well because it's getting the muscles that insert into the back of the knee here. Almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Woo. 2 squats and a calf raise, or an alternating leg extension and a calf raise. Okay. Your choice if you want to use a weight or if you want to hold onto the back of your chair. Okay. Here we go. Squat, drive up. Squat, drive up. Lift. Find your rhythm. March to your own beat, okay? Remember quality over quantity. Trying to feel a mind-muscle connection through the glutes, the quadriceps, and the calves. Good, almost there. Rope pull is next. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Recover, take your drinks as you need it. You might feel your heart rate coming up now. Rope pull is next. Now we're gonna squeeze all this. If you're standing, this is all tight and scooped. Here we go. And you're either pulling down like this or back, if that feels better. Ten more seconds here. And then we're gonna grapevine. 2 and 1. Okay. We're gonna grapevine or lateral 2-step. And 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Step back, step, tap, step back. Shake it all out. We're going to do it again after this. So back to our ham curls with those palms up pullbacks. Good. Keep it going. A little bit more time here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Woo. Final set in this block, okay? So Option for a light pair of weights as we pull back with that ham curl. 3, 2, and 1. Flexed foot, remember, okay? That's gonna help you work the hamstring a little harder, okay? If you're seated, don't do the flexed foot because I don't think it really works. Okay, oops, it's my chair, taking my chair. Just toe tap back if you're seated, okay? But if you're standing, focus on the flex of that heel. Woo! My body temperature is going up here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew, okay. 2 squats to calf raise. If you're seated, alternating leg extension to calf raise. Remember, you can use the back of your chair for support if you need it, okay? Ready? Here we go. Squat, drive up. Squat, drive up. Lift, okay? So I'm just showing you the chair option here. Might give you a peace of mind, knowing that you have something to stabilize you. Remember, your pace, okay? That might look different than mine, and that's okay, right? Good, keep it going. We have rope pull next. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Back to our rope pull, okay? Core is tight, tuck the pelvis if you're standing. Here we go. Adding some intensity through this quick, explosive movement, right? Whew, feeling it. Breaking a sweat now, guys. This is a deceiving exercise here, right? Because you're working a lot of muscles, because I'm isometrically working my lower body and my upper body while I'm standing here trying to keep everything else tight and still, right? Everything's engaged, right? And then I'm adding this intensity through this pull down time, okay? Back to our grapevine here, all right? Let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1, all right? We're gonna put them all together next. It's actually 4 exercises, and there's 8 exercises total we focused on today. It's just that one in the first block is, you know, single leg exercise. But we're gonna put all 8 exercises together, and that's gonna increase our volume. We usually do 3 sets of each exercise. We're gonna do 4 today. Three, 2, and 1. All right, excellent job, guys. Take a break. We're not done yet. We're gonna go through them all again. And just to refresh you what the first ones were, we have our squat to 45-degree press. Squat, 45. Then we have hinge, row, okay? Then we have side leg raise, one side leg raise, other side, and then bicep curl and march, okay? They're the first 4, and then we're gonna go into the second 4, okay? So, 9-minute block. We're gonna be done after this one here, okay? Let's start with your squat, the 45-degree press. Remember, you can also do an alternating leg extension to 45-degree press. Heels are shoulder width apart, toes are flared out. Ready, and begin. Here we go. Lower down, press. Okay, remember that 45 somewhere in between straight out in front of you and straight out above you, okay? You're somewhere in between. Remember, I'm pressing my heels into the floor, right? So I'm squeezing my glutes and everything here as I'm driving up. I'm trying to feel, I'm thinking about that engagement, all right? Think it and feel it. Hinge and row is coming up. 3, 2, and 1. All right, hinge and row, either seated or standing. Your stance is gonna come in. Your feet are under your hips now, toes are facing forward. All right, here we go, ready? Begin. Push hips back, all right, neutral spine, row. Squeeze the glutes and hamstrings to lift. Keeping my belly button pulled back to my spine to protect my lower back and also to work my lower back, okay? Hinge movements are really good for lower back strengthening. Side leg raises are next. Just pick one leg to start with. Good. Almost on this side for this exercise. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Holding on to the back of the chair or sitting down doing an abduction. All right, I'm putting a little bit of weight into my palms here, okay? Here we go. I'm gonna balance on one leg as I flex my heel and drive up. If you're really strong, okay, and you wanna put a weight on the side here, you could always see that. You can always do that. Sometimes people do that. I find for myself personally, if I just really dial in, if I really just start thinking about this area, thinking about keeping my foot flexed and my upper body still, I really start to feel a burn here. Three, 2, and time. Okay, shake it out. Other side. Woo. Let's get ready. And 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Other side. All right, leading through the heel. So this is our final set of side leg raises. And we're gonna do our bicep curl and march for the final time after this. Then we're gonna go into the second block for a final time. Stay connected. Focus on that side glute. Hopefully you're feeling the fire there. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bicep curl and march is coming up. All right. For me, after doing those side leg raises, I feel so activated through this area that when I'm coming up here and back and coming back down, I actually feel it. Here we go. Exhaling as my knee raises. I'm thinking of trying to deflate my stomach, right? Like push all the air out of my stomach as that knee comes up. We're going to our hand curls with our palms up next, okay? 2, and 1, okay. So now we're going from that knee raise and that bicep curl to that kick back and that pull back, okay? All right, let's get ready in 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Keep that foot flexed if you're standing here. When the heel comes back towards our glute, like it is right now, we're working the hamstring. When it comes up, when our knee comes up in front of us, like we were just doing with our bicep curl and knee raise, the exercise prior, we're working our hip flexors and our quadriceps, okay, the front of the leg. Keep it going. 2 squats. And a calf raise is next. 3, 2, and 1. Woo, okay. 2 squats and a calf raise. Remember, if you're advanced, you might hold a weight. If you're somewhere in between, you might just do a body weight, or you might hold on to the back of your chair. Okay, here we go. Heels are shoulder width apart. Down, up. So sink it back and down, up, right? Press the heels into the floor. Press. Oh wait, I'm sorry guys, I'm doing the wrong ones. I'm supposed to be doing the heel raise here. 2 squats and a heel raise. See that weight at my chest confused me. Keep it going. Just 2 more exercises after this. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, guys. Rope pull, okay? So now we're isometric. We're holding everything tight here. Scoop and tuck, right? If there was a glass of water here, it would tilt backwards. Here we go. Good. Last time doing this one. And then we're going to finish everything off with grapevine before we cool down. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Okay. We're going to shake everything out with our grapevine or our lateral 2-step. Okay. And then we are going to stretch. Okay. Here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Finish it off. Step back, step up. Remember, our grapevine is just like our step together step. It's just that instead of the foot coming and stepping right next to the other, it just tucks behind a little. All right, so this or this. Almost there. 3, 2, and time. Excellent job, guys. Get a drink there. Okay, we did our 15, 9, and 12 blocks today. Kind of like CrossFit inspired workout numbers. That's often, a lot of times you see CrossFit, 15, 12s, and 9s. So let's go ahead and cool down here. All right, we're gonna do some stretches that are good for the ankles, knees, and hips. And we're gonna start from the bottom up today. So let's start with just flexing and pointing. 1 ankle, about 5, and then circle 5 each direction. You guys know. All right, same thing other side when you're ready. Flex and point for about 5, and then circles for about 5 each direction. Good. And then if you're more comfortable seated, you can do a hamstring stretch seated. I do prefer a standing hamstring stretch just because I'm not super tight through the back of my leg. So this is comfortable for me. But again, you can do this seated. You can do this from a lower, like a step or something, okay? Or you can even just do it from the ground like this if this feels best. There's no rule you have to touch your foot or anything like that. If your body doesn't want to go that far, but you feel the stretch, that's what's most important, is to feel the stretch you're in the area you're intending to stretch. And when you're ready, go ahead and get the other side in any of those positions. Good. All right, so ankles, hamstrings. Let's go ahead and get our glutes here. All right, with our seated figure four. Again, you can do this laying down on your back and like holding onto your leg under here. Some of you are probably familiar with it and know what I'm talking about when I say that. This is our figure four stretch, just up, leaning forward slightly. And again, you should feel this through your glute, okay, on one side. Good. And go ahead and extend that leg long. Before we go to the other side, twist over in that same direction on the side of the glute that you just twisted, okay? Now we're just gonna stretch in that direction. And back to center. And now we're gonna do the same combination on the other side, okay? So we're gonna start with that flexed foot, all right? Keeping your foot flexed when you're doing this stretch helps protect your knee. That's the reason that I say flexed foot here, okay? So I'm lifting up, gently leaning forward. And again, I'm feeling the stretch just all on that side glute. All that lateral work, those lateral leg races, that same area is where you should feel this. Good. And when you're ready, go ahead and release that. And now we're gonna go ahead and twist over, looking back behind that direction. And good. When you're ready, come back to center. All right, let's just round through the spine a couple times. Movement here. Two more. Last one. And now we'll go ahead and inhale, palms together, exhale to heart. And one more. Inhale, palms together, exhale, palms to heart. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today. Doing good on time today. All right. So let me know if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, and hopefully I can address them appropriately for you. Great work, guys. Great work.
I'm out of breath. I was doing it at the desk here when I was checking things in, and I was like, oh, wow, what a workout. So really appreciate that. The knees are feeling it, the thighs are feeling it, the whole body's feeling it. If anyone
Awesome.
has any comments, questions, things you want to work on, we're very open to suggestion for exercises, right, Coach?
Absolutely. Yeah. Any way I can try to help, I'd love to. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach Elaine. It was fantastic.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
All right, we have our first question. Someone slept funny and under the scapula just is a little niggly. They say that it's not like too sore, but just enough to just wanted to stretch it out. What do you suggest for under the scapula on your back, like a butterfly wing area, you know?
Yeah, that's a tricky spot. It's funny. I actually have some like scar tissue or something. Like I feel crunchiness in there sometimes. So I get that. That's an icky spot because you can't really reach it. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
They do. I have one, but I have seen they make tools where it's like it looks like a hook. You know, like it looks like like a hook, like they used to rope or hook people off the stage. Like, and it kind of like gets right into that spot. I think Target has them. But
okay.
Here's a couple things I will say, and it's funny. I just happen to have this sitting out right now. This is a lacrosse ball, but anything that you can find as a ball could really work that has some, firmness to it. And what I do is I'm going to make sure I stay on camera when I show this. All right. So anything you can find, golf ball, anything. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else would be round in the house if you don't have a ball. Okay. I'm going to pin the ball between the wall and my spot. And I'm just gonna roll. Okay, I'm just gonna roll and release. Okay, so just try to find that area and see if you can just kind of, if you can, the tender spots where it's a little more painful, if you can, try to spend some time, as long as it's not excruciating and you're not trying to hurt yourself. But a lot of times that's the area that where the muscle is overly tensed and you need to massage and relax it a little bit. A good pointer is to do it after you get out of the shower, because your body's already warmed up, okay? So your body's already warm, it's not cold. So maybe sometimes this is like myofascial self-release, they call this, okay? So that is one thing you can do. And then afterwards, a really good stretch for that area is the one where we come down. I want you to think, this comes down and over, right? So I'm pulling it this way, but I'm not like up here with it, right? Down and over, okay? Sometimes, you know, if you're really tight, you're gonna feel a lot of stretch through here, and that's okay. But what I do when I'm in this position here, I visualize that space underneath the scapula, underneath the wing there, that spot we can't touch that we desperately wanna get to. I think about me doing this, I think about what the muscle fibers look like as they're pulling. I don't really know what they look like, but I just think about it to make sure that I get the maximum benefit out of that stretch, okay? So just think about what you're doing, stay focused on that spot, and hold your stretch for about 20 seconds, maybe do each side, okay? And then I would also think about supporting, you know, I think our neck, especially when it comes, you said you slept wrong, I think, you know, think about all the weird stuff we probably do in our sleep, like with turning our head. So make sure you're also kind of like getting the top part of your shoulder. All right, the top part. This is the back, okay? And the final thing I'll say is sometimes you want to do a doorway stretch where, I'm gonna move my camera because I really think these are valuable, guys. I think you guys, I think these are so important for everybody to do, especially the longer we've been in our body and the longer we've compromised our posture with, you know, modern living, okay? But a doorway stretch, you can come on one side. I'm making a 90-degree bend through my elbow here, right? Okay? I'm flush with the wall right here, okay? Then I'm gonna turn away from the wall so that I'm feeling an opening right through my chest here, okay? So I'm feeling a slight opening through here, okay? Because what happens is the longer, like, we're like this, like watching TV, driving our car, whatever, our modern day has us like this a lot, working, okay? So these muscles start to get stuck in a tightened position. They start to get really tight here, and that's gonna exacerbate our posture, right? So release and stretch. That's why we do so many back strengthening exercises to try to correct everything, okay? You also want to release, okay? That's also going to be beneficial for all this funky discomfort back here because it's all synergistic, right? To do this, you have to move all sides, right? It's not just one specific area. So think of it holistically, all right? Here, here, and then against the wall on both sides, here. If you have a ball, self-massage against the wall there and see if you can get into that spot. Or maybe you have a partner who will do it for you.
Can I share one thing about the lacrosse ball? It
Yeah.
is fantastic to use once you are into it. Initially, it slips, so you get frustrated. But once you are into practice, whether you travel and you get put it in any bag, it worked for me. So I said I should share others' things.
Thank you for sharing that because I couldn't agree with you more. I think initially you're like, what am I doing with this thing? Like anything, you know what I mean? But then once you find your rhythm and your flow, you're like, okay, all right, this is how it works. And I'm just thank you for sharing that because I do find it to be very beneficial to get in there and it kind of trigger points, you know, like this really tender spots. If you can roll on them for a little bit, it'll really help to just relax the spasm. Okay. All right. So
Thank you so much for that. That's amazing to have that kind of response. And we love it when people ask questions, because if you're asking the question, chances are someone else is wondering about that same question too. So we had a request for joints again for next week. If you could do a couple of joint, like, you know, the wrists, ankles.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, those are all good joints. I always like think of marionettes when we talk like this. So
Yeah, like what I always say too, it's like that's when, like, you know, having range of motion through a joint, right? Being able to do this versus muscle flexibility are two individual things. They're not the same thing, right? And when you have limited range of motion through a joint, it just doesn't make you feel like your best self, right? So sometimes it's good to switch from strength building to just working on joint mobility, right?
Mhm.
And make sure you have good range of motion, because that's foundation, right? That's a foundation of building your strength. So yeah, absolutely. We'll focus more on that next week.
Sounds like a plan. We hope to see everybody next week, same time, same place, same Zoom link.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Bye.
Thank you. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Dee.